I was able to fly, to preserve some distance from the bloodshed, but on the ground it was inescapable. The massacre at Sudjeska hung over the country like a shroud. Resistance was weakening, resolve was breaking. To come so close, only to be so cruelly cut down, it was too painful to contemplate. We flew to Korčula. The island camp had been devastated, but we salvaged some fuel, some motor parts, some vile food. McIntyre joined us there to confer with Edwards. I reacted with little more than weary resignation. He offered work, which at least provided a distraction from the bleak mood I found myself slipping into. There was some action in Poland, and McIntyre wanted to influence it. More resistance men fighting impossible odds, he promised us. We had nowhere else to go. To my surprise, the despair seemed to take the edge off McIntyre's insufferable pomposity. His formal manner slipped away like the skin of a snake in the face of such loss and sorrow. I expected him to tire me with mission details and operational requirements. But instead he spoke of my father's old squadron, those faces so familiar from Tommy's old photograph.
I barely remember their faces, you know. I hear their voices sometimes in my sleep. The men I used to fly with. Lenny Devereaux, the Frenchman, Archie, and Bull. Practically inseparable. A litany of bawdy jokes. De Beck, of course. The crazy man of the skies. He who seeks death cannot find it was his motto. And some other chap whose name escapes me. Let's call him Diddler and be done with it. He was a scrawny fellow after all. Krithia wasn't my finest hour. Of course, there are those who maintain that to come back at all is an achievement, and that losing a lad or two is par for the course. Flying was suicide in those days. Kites they were, not planes. Held together with glue and string. Paper kites. Rene got hit right away at the first of the machine gun nests. We had a key set of targets to take out, and the guns came first. I always suspected that Rene managed to get himself shot on purpose, but maybe I was wrong. He limped away, back from whence we'd come, and I'm sure he wasn't sorry to be leaving. The guns were silenced. Good job. Always hated the whir of machine gun fire through the air. Like angry insects. Hated the noise. We were to move on and neutralize an artillery battery next. No rest for the wicked. Should have been easy. The artillery. They'd make a big, fat spitting sound, and the shells would rise up in the air, big and fat and slow. Felt that way to me. Not a fast air. A big, slow, hanging premonition. Archie had some trouble there. He got slow, got clumsy, and a stray shell. It couldn't have been aimed. Just bad luck for Archie. It hacked through his wing. Didn't even slow it down. But he went. He survived the fall, wily old dog. We got the job done. No fuss or bother, if you know what I mean. More machine guns to come, and even from that distance, we could hear the ack-ack fire. Funny thing about war, we learn to fly and to drop things underneath us, so we learn to make weapons that'll shoot the flyers. Seems like the decent thing to do would be to simplify the whole operation and just stay on the ground in the first place. Hackers. I hear that sound in my dreams as well. Tiddler bought it there. Wish I could remember the lad's name. He was torn up in the sky, came down its pieces. Wouldn't have felt a thing. Poor sod. We took those nests, but it was time to go. Debeck wanted to go in, and Bull wanted to go see if he could find Archie. But as the man in charge, I had to be firm. Back we went. A good number of losses on both sides. Which is the point of the story, really. No harm in dying if your job's done, you know. Always preferable to live. A good pilot's hard to find. They die so bloody often. But if the job's finished, well, what more can be asked, eh? A good trade-off's what you're looking for. A sensible exchange, yours for theirs. That's war. That's the best you can hope for at the end of the day.